One of the most essential qualities of the king is his capacity to bless. In ancient traditions, the blessing of the king was not a casual gesture. It was a transmission of divine order. To be blessed by the king meant to be seen, acknowledged, and empowered. In psychological terms, this means that the mature man who has integrated the king within himself is able to recognize the potential in others and affirm it. He sees the gold in people. He doesn't compete or diminish, he elevates. But to bless others, the king must first bless himself. He must believe he is worthy. This is no easy task. Many people carry deep wounds of unworthiness, childhood trauma, lack of affirmation, societal messages that told them they were not enough. These all interfere with the emergence of the inner king. The work then begins with healing, with remembering your innate dignity, with restoring the broken image of yourself so you can sit fully on your inner throne. The throne is symbolic. It represents inner authority. And that authority cannot be borrowed, faked, or imposed. It must be cultivated from within. The false king tries to perform kingship, wearing the crown without earning it. But everyone can feel the difference between a man who knows who he is and one who is pretending. True kingship begins in the shadows, in the places you least want to look, the traumas you've avoided, the emotions you've denied, the mistakes you've made. The king does not avoid these, he confronts them. He takes responsibility for his past, not to wallow in guilt, but to bring order and meaning to what once was chaotic. This act of confronting and integrating the shadow is what gives the king his gravity. It's why people feel safe in his presence. He is not split, he is whole. The king archetype also contains the dimension of legacy. The immature man lives only for himself. The king thinks beyond himself. He thinks of his descendants, of the future, of the world he will leave behind. He asks, what am I building? What am I cultivating? What will stand after I am gone? This question is not just for fathers or CEOs. Every person can leave a legacy. Your integrity is a legacy. Your art is a legacy. Your relationships, your ideas, your presence, these ripple outwards. The king archetype invites you to become a generative force in the world, not a consumer, not a destroyer, a creator, a stabilizer, a guardian of values. This does not require wealth or status. It requires presence, intention, devotion to something larger than your ego. It requires a code. Kings live by codes, principles that are not up for debate: honesty, courage, loyalty, compassion, wisdom, discipline. When a man has no code, he is easily corrupted. But when his life is rooted in values, he cannot be bought. He becomes trustworthy. In relationships, the king sets the tone, not through control, but through inner stability. He brings calm where there is chaos. He listens deeply. He holds emotional space. He is generous, not just materially, but emotionally, spiritually, energetically. He gives without the need to take. And in doing so, he naturally attracts respect, not forced respect. Organic, heart-centered respect. The mature king does not need to constantly assert his dominance. He doesn't need to raise his voice to be heard. His presence speaks for itself. This presence is cultivated through silence, through discipline, through purpose. He is not scattered or distracted. He is focused, and people feel that focus when they are around him. But no king walks alone. He surrounds himself with wise counselors. He consults with his inner circle. He delegates to capable people. This is a key lesson. Real kings are not afraid to empower others. They are not threatened by strength. They recognize that a powerful kingdom is one where everyone thrives, not just the ruler. The insecure man surrounds himself with weaker men. The true king builds strong alliances. To embody the king is to become a steward, not an owner. Everything the king rules over is ultimately not his, it is on loan. His kingdom, his people, his power, it all passes through him. And so he treats it with reverence. He doesn't exploit or extract. He nurtures, he tends, like a gardener tending to a sacred grove. This stewardship also applies to time. The king respects time. He does not waste it. He plans, he prioritizes. He honors the seasons of life, knowing when to act, when to wait, when to let go. He has patience. He sees the long arc. He is not seduced by quick wins or fleeting fame. He is playing the infinite game. Implementing the king means embodying daily rituals of leadership. Wake up with clarity, define your values, set intentions, review your actions, reflect on your impact, serve others without losing yourself. Speak with authority but rooted in truth. Develop a code and live by it even when no one is watching. The king also honors the inner feminine. He is not rigid or mechanical. He is in touch with intuition, receptivity, care. He protects the feminine, not just in women, but within himself. The part that feels, that nurtures, that creates life. This balance between structure and flow is the essence of sovereignty. Without the feminine, the king becomes a tyrant. Without the masculine, he becomes a pushover. Integrated, he becomes whole. We live in a culture that mocks or misunderstands mature masculinity. The term king is often used ironically or associated with ego and entitlement. But in the deepest sense, the king archetype is the antidote to toxic masculinity. It is what masculinity looks like when it is healed, whole and grounded in service. The world does not need fewer kings, it needs more, but not in the way of domination. In the way of blessing. You become the king not by demanding the crown, but by becoming the kind of man who deserves to wear it. You lead by example. You show up every day for your mission, your people, your soul. You don't wait for permission. You anoint yourself, not in arrogance, but in humility, knowing that your life is not just for you, it is for something greater. The king archetype is also deeply spiritual. It asks you to step into sacred responsibility, to recognize that your life matters, that your choices ripple across generations, that you are here to stand at the center of your own life and radiate order, purpose and blessing to the world around you. This does not mean perfection. The king is not perfect, but he is committed. He does not run from difficulty, he faces it, he listens to feedback, he adjusts, he owns his mistakes. And through this process he gains wisdom. He becomes the kind of leader people trust, not because he's flawless, but because he's real.